Good evening. This is Reggie coming to you with another video postcard. I'm simply trying to utilize the tools that I have available to myself. And this is part of the value that I believe is to be had with a group like the Black Business Builders Club. Simply and logically, and on this point, that scientifically it's been proven that video is 50 times more effective than text, and teaching people to be able to manipulate the video information technology that is now available to people by the preponderance of broadband connections that allow people access to high-speed internet. I believe it's a timely skill, one that can immediately be applied to put dollars in people's pockets in a legal way. Something that's been very lacking, especially by the performance that was given by Helen at the last Civic Association meeting. And again, with the responses that I get to the emails, any attempts that I make at legitimate, constructive discussion are overlooked and passed over when we just want to say God bless and whatever. But the issues remain the same nonetheless, and by having reason to focus on these kind of issues, certain truths came to me, and I wanted to share them with you, and you have the absolute ability to rebut what I'm saying. But I'm simply looking for debate, discussion, and open discussion on solutions that can be had for our community. Not those that meet the approval of the master. The master has us in this position where we are depending on a stimulus to bail us out. But we all know that that stimulus is going to disappear, and once it does, it's just as I say of all grants. If you get used to them, they're just like drugs, because once they take them away, you go through withdrawal, just like a drug addict, because you no longer have that supply to fund your addiction. I'm simply recommending ways that we can be self-sufficient and independent by controlling the purchasing dollars that we control. And it seems to me that the main mission that you all have is to squash any idea that I might bring to the table. With all the options of the things that you could spend your mental energy dwelling upon, you choose to dwell on the ones that say why we can't do this. It's like almost a perfect example of how those who want to keep us under their control have things on autopilot. They don't have to do anything. We'll keep our own selves in control because we're so worried about what massa might think. Let's do what's right for us, our communities, for our center, so that we can be self-sufficient and independent. I dare say that maybe it's because of the prevailing attitude that is held by many is the same attitude that has us in a position where we find ourselves utilizing a center that the city is renting from an owner from another community, because the prevailing ideals did not see that as being important to be in an ownership position. I, who have gone through a very unique circumstance where I lived on Curtis Street, the block that you, Linda, and Rita live on. And you know that I was an active participant in the block association. I find it very strange that a longtime resident of that street, Mr. Stingler, happened to introduce me to the opportunity of being able to purchase the six-family building at 2715 Kearney Street. I was unemployed at the time, but I saw the value of what he was trying to present to me, and I made it happen with the same resources that many families who have been here in the community for years have at their disposal. As I would say, I was unemployed with no income, no job, but because I had a vision, I was able to make it happen. The same, with any number of different circumstances, that if we have the vision and the foresight, we can pursue our own destiny instead of just being stuck in the same situation, letting others control things, and we basically get washed in the tide of their decisions. I'm simply saying, let's control our own destiny. Maybe we could be the owners of that center, NBCL, and Malcolm X, and all the rest. So as I said, yes, I do fight against the status quo, the prevailing mentality to say that we can do better, we can do more, it's not going to take a lot, and I simply ask that even if you may not fully understand where it is I might be coming from, why stand in my way? If I have a clear vision and I've demonstrated myself to be a community servant for all these years, have guided the center to the place where it is considered to be worthy of these stimulus funds. I'm not saying it's me alone, it's the efforts of all of us. But it just so happens that I'm the captain of the ship. And for whatever reason that it be, that's the situation. So all I'm asking you for is a little trust that I have the proper judgment, the proper experience, the proper everything to make this happen. And from my perspective, you will exert extreme efforts to thwart whatever it is that I bring to the table. And I'll tell you straight face that what I envision could be just as impactful as the election of President Obama. You may think I'm nuts, but I'm telling you I believe it. And if you want to stand in the way of the possibility of something like that occurring, you really have to ask yourself, what am I doing? Because as I said, look, the prevailing mentality has us in the position of renters in our center. And we have it in our ability to be owners if we just learn to harness and manage the resources that we have at our control and our disposal. See, with this, you don't have to look to boycott anybody else or force anybody else to stop writing bad articles about you or anything. This is about us, the things that we can control. So I'm simply saying, give it a chance. Alright? Signing off before my time runs out. Have a good evening.